ground, but the mind's online. Circuits breathe where the forests shine. Till it streams through the rivers wide. Nature coded the future alive.
Misses the J after tricking the D with the nifty pass. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
Now, and 8 teams will qualify for knockouts, while 8 teams get eliminated. Only teams with the same standing can battle each other. 3 wins you qualify, 3 losses, and you're out.
It's time for the conclusion of this very third round. We need to conclude all the matchups still left. We have one potential elimination and 1 potential qualification for anyone in the uppers and as well as the lowers. The middle of the pack have almost been finished off, but there's still some questions that need to be asked. Question is, who else is going to be joining potentially the FYG or have to face a qualification match just to stay alive?
Yep, and I think one of those biggest questions too is what the matchups are going to be. So eventually later on we will be having another draw to determine what these matchups are for the 2-1 and the 1-2 pool, which is kind of like the second to the last round of the entire.
Detective, OP in mid, Boxy and Roman, Sing and Gold, Cambodia, give your energy for CFU Gaming!
They came out of the wild cards in flying colors, but the Swiss stage so far is proving too tough. Is there enough gas for them to reach tomorrow? With XPXE, with Jungle Kazue, Mid Identity, Rome Wacker, and Gold RX, lock in Boostgate Esports!
I have a good feeling about this one. I hope it goes to 3, and I hope we see the best of these two, because one of them has to go home. It's time for us to also welcome in the coaches. For Boostgate, it's Coach Tezet and Coach Nova. Well, for CFU's basic attack latched onto the Phobius. That's why he got dragged under tower.
Okay, OP's already level 4 now, so they might want to go for this.
They've caught Identity, forcing him to flicker away. His Purify's not back up as Wadu flickers forward, and Detective secures the first turtle of this game. XE, don't go back in. They're just going to walk. They just need to walk away. Oh, he touches back in, hoping that Wacker is going to get back into the fight. He gets on top of OP, but doesn't hit anything. Even with the Spear of Destruction, this could be an opportunity as he gets back in. Zing! Getting a free assist. First blood going over to CFU.
Yep, there probably was a call right there. Oh, but they're still going for it. Does XE survive this, though? He's all alone.
He shouldn't survive it, but he's going to try anyway. Detective locks him down just in time. 2-0. Fostering. Wait for it. Wacker, he's looking for an opportunity to try and steal this away, but it looks like XE having to use his ult to get in the middle of the fight. Tsunami Slam as well into the Feather Airstrike, landing on to 3. They've lost 2, and now the Spear of Destruction. No assist just yet as Boxy forced into an awkward position. The opening shadow kill is good, and Wadu manages to survive. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of CFU Gaming.
Fortunately, Boostgate still got something out of that, because CFU Gaming and the plays that they go for, prior objectives, have been working so well. The fact that they took out the Purify from RX before they started that fight, and that Wadu was readily there with his bravest fighter just to ensure that the zone or the zoning or the space was created, seemed or almost felt like Boostgate Esports would have had a hard time trying to contest. But fortunately, Kazue also found an opening, so it's not like they didn't entirely get nothing out of it. But this is still a gold lead that's continuously increasing in the hands of CFU.
I'm also starting to see here the potential of Boostgate Esports finding a big turnaround at around minute 8, minute 9.
Oh, okay. The Raging Sandstorm was committed. Now the
Wow.
Tsunami Slams, the Feather Airstrike does get canceled out. They can fully turn their attentions here. The taunt onto RX, but XT able to peel just in time. The Blazing Duet was good, and Boxy ends up dying as the OP Shadow kills next to fall. Sing alongside with Detective must peel. Abraser's Wrath doesn't connect in time. OP finds XT as RX takes out Detective. It is an even trade, 6-3, but CFU still hold on to that lead.
Renmar was just talking about it.
Yeah.
That turnaround play came a bit too early for Boostgate Esports here. Hold on, Sing.
Oh, whoa!
Oh.
No!
He knew he messed up.
Yeah.
He knew he messed up, and that Spirit of Destruction, really, all of it, just for hopefully connecting and making an outplay.
I have to say though, props to RX. He went in at the perfect timing. He knew that there was no knock up to come from Boxy just yet because he just used it and he took that opportunity and everyone else from Boostgate Esports followed.
Now, we sit on this turtle once again. Xe has been great, but Wadu jumping early with Bravest Fighter, allowing Xe to get into the middle of the fight. Now with the Numenov already out of the way, and the Feather Airstrike Detective takes the turtle. Purify already coming through. Boxy forced to run, flickers off. All ults being utilized. You can see that Detective wasn't able to get in close for the Appraiser's Wrath.
Yeah, this might be a problem if you're now forced to use your skills as a Kalea to just cancel the entries of Boostgate rather than you looking for the setups yourselves.
Yeah, and I appreciate how both gold leaders have been very active in the map. Of course, with RX rushing the DHS, it's very quick for Detective Wadu and Boxy to feel the pain that the Claude can dish out on them. Now Boostgate is eyeing the tower up top.
Boxy, he needs to cancel this. Oh, he doesn't have enough time. It's too late. Identity takes him out with a Feather Airstrike as we already see the Pulse pulling him back. Is he going to take it? Is he going to take it? We're thinking about it. He does! And now Xe in the middle of the fight getting reset after reset as Identity is thinking he wants to get these contacts, but it's too late. It's already one down and Identity soon to fall after. Can RX get his PMI back up? No! Flicker into the Land Shatterer. Nicely played by Wadu.
Wadu coming in just in time.
Yeah, they held, Wadu and Detective held the BMI too well. There was no way RX could have walked back to or could have went back to that BMI. So he had no other choice but to walk. But Wadu, with the flicker still available, was able to catch him. And luckily, Identity didn't go down too. Oh wait,
I'm gonna try for another dive, and it's gonna be very successful, knowing that Wacker has nothing left, and they break open a tier 1. How far? Make a prediction here, Myanmar. How much of a lead are they gonna get off of this?
Oh, I think they could eventually swing this into a 4-5, closer to 5 later on, if they can keep expanding the presence that they have in the map, considering the mid tower as well. Just they're quite even. Looking back at it, it's still very close in terms of the mid towers. I think they're gonna have to eye out getting a little bit more river control. But I like how Wadu, hopefully CFU Gaming are talking about the Lapu Lapu as, hey, we're going to blow everything early, but can you save your Bravest Fighter for last?
Yeah.
That's going to be the finisher to cap off fights.
Because they have a different approach to team fights. Luckily, they have a lot of range. They have OP with the traction pulse. They have Boxy to potentially scout things out first if ever it's not entirely going to work for them. But now that you've mentioned it, Wadu is something Boostgate or is someone Boostgate Esports has to pay attention to. I know Xe's doing at least or somewhat the same job, but the thing is he's going in first, and that CFU Gaming constantly has been able to find ways around to punish.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way that they're playing, right? CFU, in every single one of these neutral fights, they take the fight first and then the neutral after. They want to turn this into a no contest. Right now, they're not in position to do so. They've already cracked a top tier 1. And Detective is going to start off the taunt onto Xe's side, and now they instantly cancel out the Feather Airstrike as they jump back into the fight, moving away to try and make sure that the mud in the water is cleared up. Raging Sandstorm on to 3, followed by the Blazing Duet on to 2. Boxy is dead, and now Detective must hold. Oppie and Sing move back. A no contest turning a 3 into 1.
The Sharks get whacked by Wachter.
And what did Wachter do? Wait a minute, that was close. I've seen way too many instances of that actually happening. Okay.
An odd occurrence.
Okay.
But now we can take a little bit of a breath, right? What we thought initially was going to turn into a 3, maybe even 4.5k lead, now being swung over entirely.
Yeah. And Wachter, I think he did it twice. Him just using the quick sand guard in front of 3 members of CFU Gaming, and they're not bothered at all. They can just tank it as much as they want. He has enough ways to deal with it, not even having a Radiant Armor. So even without that, they don't seem to feel the threat of OP just yet.
Yeah. You also see here the reason why Boxy's been falling down real quickly. It took him until now to get his dominance eyes. Of course, he rushes the fleeting time, but then that's not going to do well for you if your team actually doesn't get a snowball lead.
Well, I mean, they have like a 3 to 4, but now the fight continues as the Tsunami Slam has already been Xe finally able to get 1 ult off, but it's not enough as the Feathered Airstrike can't peel enough. The Oki Shadow Kill will trade at least 1 back. Wadu goes down for XC.
Yeah, and I guess that's what works for them. If they find the targets first, and that's not going to be a problem even if it's XC. We talked about this earlier. If they have enough damage to deal with it, or if they have enough ways to hold him down before he gets to jump again, then that's an immediate -1 for CFU Gaming. Now it doesn't seem like they'll have much of a problem dealing with this Lord.
Yeah, I hope we get to see Identity though save that feathered airstrike.
Just as you
Just as I say it, or maybe he was just trying to poke back OP, but decided, you know what, not worth it. Detective might be a little bit too close. We might just get chained up here, then we'll have to force our ability. So we just back off. I'm okay with that. Swift Trinity now finally achieved here by Sig, but even before that, he was already a threat. The amount of damage that he dealt with the initial start by Boxy in that big engage before Boostgate got to slightly turn it around. Well, this Moskov now needs to be watched carefully by Kazue, who has been great this game.
Yeah.
Deathless, 4-0-2.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, actually, since we're already coming to the 12th minute of the game, I'm curious about the quote-unquote scaling these teams have. Double Trinity Marksman's trying to go. Wait, hold on. Detective doesn't get it. Oh, wait, he's actually getting all right on top of XC here. It's a bit of an awkward position. Feathered Airstrike now coming up. XC can peel. He should be okay, but OP is making it hard. Flicker already out. Abraser's Wrap already gone. And back to the question, who scales better?
I have to say that CFU have really good defense, but when it comes to the late portions of the game and when they go all out at once, there's so much damage to be expected from Boostgate Esports, so I might have to give it to them because you've mentioned how they haven't paid much attention to Kazue just yet, but in the few and the rare instances we actually saw Kazue go in, you could expect the amount of damage, or you could see the amount of damage that's coming from him. And it's not like Identity has been landing all these feathered airstrikes on the right targets just yet. Yeah. So long as they're able to accomplish that, Boostgate Esports have such a high potential in the late game.
Yeah, you have two heroes at the side of Boostgate who use HP-based damage items. The Lantern, with the DHS as well.
Okay, a bit of an early release of the traction pulse there by OPB. Can definitely see the idea, but look at the waves. The waves are not in their favor, and CFU, seeing that Moskov is on the opposite side, they're looking to get some posture, some territory here by neutral ground.
Okay.
Very close. I was hoping Wadu would hold the bush a little bit more. No one's resetting this?
I think it's going to reset
there we
no
go.
matter what, because XE's in, Raging Sandstorm. Oh, Flicker as well, with the help of RX in the back line with a feather, already with a feathered airstrike as well, as Wadu is able to take out 2 with RX in between. And now Sing, 1v3, already taking out traction pulse off the one Kazue. He goes down, and Sing has done more than enough to close out this fight.
Sting fortunately had the flicker when Wactor and RX decided to go for him. There was the Raging Sandstorm, there was the Blazing Duet, but he was able to flicker behind the wall. And now he's able to re-engage and turn things around.
And now they're trying to close out this game. Tsunami Slam already being used onto Wactor, who can't touch the wave. Not even close. Wipeout City, and CFU will take game 1.
That's how you want to start things off in an Elimination BO3 match. Last year, it was the heartbreak from Moskov. This year, maybe it's the savior of CFU's M7 run. Still, Boostgate could force game number 3, but that is a massive heartbreaking loss. Wadu found the entry in the back to take 2 down quickly and for Sing to finish it up.